AskReddit by deleted. What are teens today not ready to hear? Treating your teachers like trash isn't cool. Most of the time they really want to help you. Your parents were hip and cool before they had to pay your bills and feed you and buy you the cool clothes so you can impress the friends you'll forget about in 10 years. In 15 years you're going to think that kids have gone too far and they're going to think you're old-fashioned. Deleted. You won't feel different when you're older or have kids. You'll just be you. It's weird. Life as a continued experience is weird. When I was much younger I would always think about all the ways I'd be different when I was older, but I'm still just me. Somewhat wiser and taller, but still the same me I've always been. It's strange, but I think I've enjoyed getting older and growing to know myself better. That dick pic you sent got screenshotted and sent to 5 other people. And they're still saving your nudes, even if you sent them on Snapchat and think they can't screenshot without your knowledge. They can. Take it from a zillennial who knows from experience. Everything you do as a teenager will be cringe to your children. Everything I did as a teenager is cringe to me tbh. To the ones who ride the public bus in my city, specifically, nobody else wants to hear whatever TikTok you're watching. Buy some headphones. My dad's a teenager. Anything less than 80% is not worth listening to. School has a system in place to keep you from falling behind. Life doesn't. Yup. Life will run you over if you fuck around. And even if you have your shit together, you could be one financial crisis away from losing it all. Deleted. Apparently this isn't a big thing for Gen Zs. A few years ago I worked for a university and we got access to the Youth Health Study, 2018. The majority of first-year university students surveyed said they were virgins, and even more interestingly rated their interest in sex as low. The stats showed young millennials and Gen Zs had way less sex and drank way less alcohol than older millennials and Gen X. By the way, for the other zennials out there, 1980-84, the comparative stats basically said we were a bunch of drunk fornicators. Our stats were the worst. Being controversial isn't the same as being interesting. Oh, and you're gonna wish you learned not to be a dick. Turns out social skills are useful post-college. Just because you fucked up does not mean you're a fuck up. Building on this, everybody fucks up royally at some point. A sign that you're in the right environment, whether that's personally or professionally, will be people forgiving and working with you to get better. Drugs ain't a game. I work with teens and none of them take me seriously when I tell them to never, ever mess with pills, even when I list all the people I knew at their age who are now dead from opiate abuse and ODs. Please shower. Back in my day you got roasted for being the stinky one. Not everybody can be an internet sensation. Somebody has to drive the dump truck. And sanitation is a pretty solid business, too. Condoms are for STDs too, even though there are other ways to avoid pregnancy. STDs are the main reason I use them. One day you too will be old and uncool. And it'll happen faster than you think. When I was like 25 and stepbrother chuckled at me and said nobody says stoked anymore, I had that moment for the first time. The moments have only increased since. Just because it's new to you doesn't mean it's new. I majored in literature in college. I teach now, and I remember 18-20-year-old me being fascinated by how human nature stayed the same from hundreds of years ago. At that age, I couldn't fathom that those old people actually made sex jokes or had certain technologies. Reading across the ages really made me wiser and hip to the fact that humans are basically all the same. We just have different settings we grow up in. 10 years from now, no one will care about how many viewers you had on TikTok. Also, those 10 years are not a long time. It's tomorrow. Social media is not reality and your entire life should not revolve around it. I know some adults that need to hear this too. As you get older, you just keep realizing how dumb you were last year. Every day I realize how stupid I was the day before. You're closer to being the older person in any given setting than you think. And by old I mean like 30. Got nieces and nephews just starting kindergarten? Haha. Blink and they're starting college. Agreed. We're having my mother's memorial this coming weekend and it keeps striking me as bizarre that we are now the adults. We went from 15-45 in the blink of an eye, it seems. It is perfectly fine to not know something. It's okay to not know. Stop shaming and bullying people because you learned about something before they did. Social media is not the real world and acting like it is will only make people not want to be around you. Edit. I am not talking about ignorance. I'm talking about laughing when people ask a question in class, the how do you not know that crowd, the mocking of people into never asking another question out of fear of ridicule and humiliation. Tell that to the adults too. Today's eyebrows are yesterday's clown makeup and tomorrow's regret fodder. Today's eyebrows are laminated. You need to learn the difference between normal teenage neuroses and mental illness. Neurotypical older teen here. Completely agree. People romanticize mental illness and chalk every response they have to a problem up to mental illness. Putting every aspect of yourself online isn't safe. Nobody needs to know your list of triggers or your address or your blood type. Some Twitter bios are long enough to be in a Star Wars intro. In the adult world, getting into fights doesn't make you look cool, it just makes you look stupid. And one wrong fight can leave you brain damaged or on trial for manslaughter. Early successes at this stage in your life won't necessarily give you an advantage later, but early failures will likely hold you back significantly. Basically, getting straight A's in high school will leave you closer to the mean than failing a number of classes. To add to this, please, for the love of all that is good in the world, do not get caught up in the legal system or get in trouble with the law. If you're in the US, having a criminal record absolutely will ruin your life. Especially if it's a felony. Stay away from drugs, don't drink until you're old enough, and stop doing stupid shit. Focus on school, work, and hobbies. I know it sounds cliche, and even a little lame. But take it from someone who prioritized partying at your age and is now struggling to find work because nobody hires felons. I wish I could go back and stay away from that crowd. Edit. Thanks for the awards. If you're young and reading this, please take what I said to heart. I'm not saying don't have fun, but I just want you to be aware that getting in legal trouble can ruin your life and prevent you from doing a lot of things. Voting, owning a gun, working in certain medical professions, etc. My charges were DWI and possession. I'm in the process of expunging the possession charge, but the DWI will never go away. This was over 6 years ago. Social media will give you too much of a superiority complex and hanging around people who enable you will fuck you up later in life. That heartache you're going through? It consumes everything now, but it will be nothing but a footnote in the future. You'll rarely think about it later, and when you do, it won't hurt you. It's hard to hear that your pain isn't the worst in the world when you're feeling it. But it does help to know that it won't mean as much as it does in this moment. As a 35-year-old I can say this, your social life in high school is meaningless. You suck? Doesn't matter. You're popular? Doesn't matter. You will meet new people anyway. And X200B. You will be 20 and still be an empty sheet of paper. Heck, you can start over with 30, probably with 40 and 50 again, and every age in between. Everything in your life right now is a trial run. High school is meant to teach you how to learn. how to communicate, and how to deal with other people. That's it. High school doesn't last forever and it doesn't really mean anything. You most likely won't marry whoever you're dating right now. And that's okay. Most romantic relationships you have will probably fail because you are young and you are both learning how to communicate and figuring out what you need in a relationship. Enjoy this time of awkward growth. It's the last time you'll be able to be a kid and not have to worry about adult issues, unless you're unlucky and were dealt a shit hand in life. Be humble, patient, and kind. I'm rooting for ya.